one of the things that you're doing in your stroke is you are hinging the back of this left wrist.
Oh, really? I've been trying not to do that. Okay.
That you're not swinging this as a connected unit.
Okay.
So, well, there's no, the left hand keeps going and hits the back of my hand. Okay? So it's not a wristy, floppy stroke, it's a shoulder stroke. You're almost like your elbows are swinging, not just this.
I see. Okay.
So you have a tendency to want to hit the ball with that instead of this.
I see.
So let's try one there. Don't care if you go in or not. Put your attention on swinging your elbows. So this hand is going to move to here. That handle right. Much better. That's the. Gary, going to talk to you about your putting stroke and compare it to Tiger Woods. First, let's look at your setup. I really like your stance. I like the fact that your elbows are tucked into your side, just like Tiger has. Your eyes are over the ball. Really solid start. Going to look mostly at the hinging in your back of your left hand. I had talked about that you had a hinging and cupping of the back of the left hand, and you're basically swinging the putter by hinging your wrist, and you really weren't swinging your forearms and elbows. If we look at Tiger first, draw a line on the back of his left wrist, showing where it is at the start. Going to take it back till he ends his backswing, about right there. Draw a line at the back of his left wrist till he finishes his swing, about right there, in the back of his left wrist. But let's do yours now. I'm going to put a line at the back of your left wrist to start. That's as far back as you went. You can see the left hand didn't really swing very much. The putter head swung back quite a bit, but not the hands. And then as you come through, that's about the end of your stroke. So your left hand, the back of your left hand does not swing very much. You're basically just hinging it and only swinging the putter head. Tiger is swinging the whole club, the end of the club and the shaft. Now I'm going to show how you improve this technique and you became a lot less wristy after you worked on some drills. On the left was before you adjusted your stroke, and then on the right is after you swung more with the shoulders and elbows. Mark the back of your left hand on the left and the back of the left hand on the right. The one on the right is your new improved stroke. And then as you took it back, you went to about right there. You didn't really swing that left hand very far. Over here, when you took it back, it went back a little further. On the left, as you came through and finished. And over here, you can see that left hand continuing to move. It's not stopping and cupping. Much further there. Very good. So you made a big improvement. You had just a nice shoulder stroke. Back here, and I've cocked it up. And I'm going to pull, and then I'm going to, as fast as I can, snap down and roll and recock to a right angle on this side. And so it'll finish in a right angle. Handle pointing down, thumb up, thumb up, thumb is up, thumb is up. So I'm not doing this where it's straight. I'm thumb up. So I'm re-hinging. So there's a hinge and a re-hinge on this side. Like a swatting a bee down there. I'm just listening to that sound, that swish. Try to remember the sound that you were making with this stick and try to create that swish with that stick, that club. Okay, a little bit bigger backswing. Turn, you can do a full normal backswing, but feel that nice release. Ooh, feel that whip? A lot of speed there.
I want you to memorize a sound. Nice normal backswing, and then just fire, just throw, then just swish it to the club. Very nice. Wonderful there. I'm going to set this club down at the same angle you set that. I'm not vertical, I'm at tilt.
Okay.
That's the swing plane. When this club starts going around and behind you, we want to stay on plane.
Okay.
That means when it gets back here, it needs to be at the same angle up here as it was down there.
Right.
You have a tendency, when you get back here, instead of staying on the plane, you lift it straight up and get off the plane. So you're just kind of wiping across the ball.
I see.
You're not coming into it and giving it a direct hit from in here.
I see.
So we need this club going behind us so it's on that tilt. And that is best achieved by keeping this arm down. If this elbow comes up, that club gets vertical. As this arm comes down, it gets correctly positioned here.
I see.
I want you to do a couple of practice swings where it feels more around your body and not so much up and down. You have more of a arm-only swing.
Right.
And you're not
right.
really rotating your hips
Right.
and your shoulders enough. I just want to, that'll give you more power. But it also lines that club head up in the right swing path. So let's do a couple of swings that feel really round. Yeah, that's good. So you're swinging around the body a little bit more. Good, so you're gonna set up one more time. So you've gotta have, the key is this backswing. You've gotta have this backswing going early, what I call an early turn. Early turn.
You want to do this?
Yes. Swinging around a circle.
And that helps you get a good follow through here too.
Yes,
Because when I'm doing this, I'm always up like this.
exactly. Because you're
not
basically
coming
you were a Ferris wheel. You weren't. I want you to be a merry-go-round.
Right. Right. Yeah, it makes it so much easier to finish here.
Mm-hmm. That's a good finish.
That felt good too.
Good pop. Now, that's a bullet. That'll run. I like that one. Let's do that again. Do a practice swing, and I want you to feel like your wrists have crossed over on the other side, on the follow-through side. Feel your wrist turn over quickly. Got a little bit different feeling when you think about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not
All right, so
thinking about it when I hit it.
So let's just think about that only. Boy, I tell you, if we had that straight, that would be out there.
That one felt good.
That was really good. Wow. Solid. That's going out there.
Yeah, that's.
You have the ball positioned a little further back than I would like. I want you to move your feet back a little bit so that ball is more almost over where your toe is. A little bit. So you're just going to feel like your hands are almost behind the ball. This also allows you to hit up, which is ideal for maximum distance. That may be the best you hit today.
I was off there.
Good. So remember, you're going to just set it up always on the toe, not back here on the heel. Turn and whip. Shoot, I wish I should have done that 30 minutes ago. I should have been first on my list, not last. That's two of your best drives. That had a little baby draw.
My hands feel like good.
Exactly.
Oh, that was nice.
Oh, that is nice.
Now, Gary and I will last session, we worked on increasing your club head speed by working on releasing the club a little bit differently, or thinking a little bit differently, and just relaxing and swishing the club through. And we did see some difference in how far you hit the ball. We also worked on your swing plane and not get too upright. But on our next session, I want to work on one particular part of the release. And on the left, I have you doing a practice swing after we had done some of the swish stick drills. And I've paused the swing, and I'm comparing it. This first comparison will be with Grant Waite. And I've paused the swing at the 5 position. This is when the left arm is parallel to the ground on the downswing. And as we watch Grant come through and hit the ball, I want to move all the way up to the what we call the 9th position. And this is when the right arm is parallel to the ground, and you'll see that Grant's elbows are close together, both arms are extended, and particularly I want you to notice that his left hand is underneath the right hand. His wrists have crossed, and that is part of what a good release will look like. You will see that that right hand and left hand have wrists crossed. Now let's look at you come through. And again, when you get your right hand parallel to the ground, right arm parallel to the ground, you also have your left hand underneath the right hand, just like Grant does. So you have crossed your wrist as well, and that crossing of the wrist helps accelerate the club through. Now this swing on the left of yours is one of your practice swings, trying to hear that sound. There wasn't a ball down there, so you were just focusing on swishing the club, and you weren't thinking about crossing your wrist, but your wrist crossed naturally when you just did a natural release, and you didn't have to think about looking like this. You didn't have to think about putting your hands in this position that you see you matching Grant's position. You did it naturally. Now here's Tiger coming into the golf ball. Hits it with extended arms. And again, you can see how his left hand is underneath the right hand. His arm is straight here. His left arm is straight. Wrists are crossed. Elbows close to each other. This here is Rory McIlroy. And he finishes with his left hand underneath the right hand, both arms extended, elbows close to each other, wrists are crossed. Now the swing on the left was your practice swing, where you didn't have the distraction of a golf ball, and you made a very natural swing and a very natural release. You can see how quickly your wrists cross, and now the glove of your left hand, the white glove, is easily seen underneath the right hand. And so you just whip that club through with a lot of speed. Your ball swing on the right tightens up, and you never get that same release. Your left hand is above the right hand. So, and you're kind of doing that chicken wing. Your wrists are not crossing, the elbows are separating. So there's a much more natural swing that you can use, but you don't use it when there's a ball there. And so there's some drills that we need to do. I need to look at a couple things that you're doing with your hands. I need to teach your hands how to snap and release correctly. You'll notice that when your right hand and right forearm is vertical here, is parallel to the ground, that the shaft has started rehinging up. Here, when your right arm is parallel to the ground, the shaft has not rehinged up, and so the swing on the right has a slower moving shaft and club head than the swing on the left. So it's not as if you don't know how to release the club properly that would give you more power. It's that you can only do it when there's no ball there. So we've got to make that transition. and find a mental bridge that allows you to use your natural release practice swing into a golf ball. And that's what we'll work on next. Now we're going to look at your driver swing, covering those same issues that I just covered. On the left was your practice swing, and on the right was your ball swing. One of the changes we also made in your driver is we moved the ball forward in your stance toward the end of our session. That really helped hit the ball a lot straighter, get the ball started on the right line. Now, as you go back, this is your practice swing. Nice sounding swish. And when your club is swishing through the air where a ball would be, that's your position. I'm going to take you back now with your ball swing. And you can see how as you hit the ball, you have a little bit more of a bend in your elbows are starting to separate a little bit, more so than on the swing on the left. And then as you go through a little further on the left, as you go through, and when your right arm is parallel to the ground, your left hand is underneath the right hand. Your wrists have crossed, and I can see your elbow here. So you've kept your elbows close to each other. On the right, as you come through, your left hand is above the right hand, and you did not extend and reach out. You have a lot more angle in your elbow here than you do over here. It's a little bit straighter. You can even your eyes are looking down. You're in a better position. You're just kind of pulling everything into your body on the right, and you're kind of on the left. You're kind of extending and throwing the hands and the arms and the club out away from you towards your target. You're more relaxed in your joints as you create that whipping speed. So we're going to work on finding that nice relaxed swing, and not swings quite so hard with the wrong part of our body, so that the hands and arms can stay fluid and quick on their own without you having to tense up and contract your muscles so much.